So this is the file that I got from ListSource, and I'm going to use this to try to make a determination of what are the areas that I'm going to target. And so I'm going to go ahead and just do some cleaning up. I'm going to go all the way down to the bottom. I see here there's one column that says unknown, and this column will be zip code. This column would be number of deals, and I don't need these ones here, so I'm going to go ahead and delete them. And then I'm going to then look at each of these here. I'm going to sort these by this order here. And so then now what I do is I have a grouping of all these particular ones. Now the total summary of these, as example, total summary, and so you got an airplane going over me, is there. So the sum of these is 3420. So I'm going to take a percentage of total, and I'm going to do that. It's not really, why is it not, my keyboard isn't working the way it should be, so I'm going to do plus that divided by, it is 3420, and I want that to be a percentage, and then I'm going to take that, and what we're going to do is we are going to, this is a percentage of the total, so then these should all add up to 100%. If I take this, copy, paste, that adds up to 1, right? So all these are and then what I could do is I could do cumulative, right? So cumulative would be, oh, this is a scroll lock. Why is that? Oh, I hit the wrong key. There you go. I think that's it. Okay, I had the scroll lock on. So this would be this on this here. It would be equals that, and then this one would be plus that, and so then it's taking a cumulative number that continues to go up as we approach down. So it eventually gets to 100%, right? And so then if you look at these, you'll see that and you know, we're talking about the 8 now here in this particular area we got all the way down to 54 zip codes. Now as you scroll through these, you'll notice if we look at the 80-20 rule, right, 80%, 34 zip codes encompass 34 zip codes are part of the are 80% of the transactions. These other ones here, although they have quite a bit, they don't add up to as much as these do. And so then typically what I would do is I would focus on these particular zip codes here, the ones that leading up to 80%. And the things I normally pay attention to on these here is I just want to kind of have a lay of the land. And so then what I'm going to do is I'm going to look this up on Google. So then now as I look at this area here, and I could do a couple things on Google, is I can look around and kind of see, hey, how does that area look like, you know, relative to everything else, so I can kind of take a drive by. The other thing that I think, and as I scroll through here, you can see that, hey, it's just older homes, which is exactly what we're looking for. You know, we're looking for older houses. That's what you want to see. The other thing that we can do is we can look at Zillow, and we can go into Zillow and type in that particular zip code and see what are the houses that are available for rent. And one of the things I look for when I look for that is looking for things that appear to be fixed up. Like if I look at here, you know, I mean, but even if it's not, these look, you have, these are rental houses. Looks like it was rehabbed, so that's an appearance if it was rehabbed. And so, you know, the chances are that most of the houses here, if you notice, that's all rehabbed as well. So there's a lot of investor activity here, a lot of rentals available in that area as well. See that? And then the other thing you could do is you could look for sale. So if you look for sale by agent or say by owner, I'd be looking to see if they say, you know, rehabbed, you know, renovated 3-bedroom, right? So renovated, to me, you see a lot of those. It means that, hey, there's completely remodeled. So these are for rent, actually. It brought me back to rent. I don't know why it did. Oh, because I still have it for rent here. Let's see here. Those are the ones for rent. And then, let's see here what shows up here. Sometimes the solds don't give us. Yeah, so in this scenario here, there's a lot more rental activity, which is fine. But you'll notice that the rental properties are showing rehabbed and renovated. So that to me is a clear indication that it is a market for rehabbers. So let's take on the opposite end of the extreme. Let's say we took 33324. What does that look like on the other end of the extreme? I zoomed out by mistake. See, these are newer houses. I mean, I know this area, so I know that these are all going to be, you know, if I'm seeing this, right? So this is not the kind of house we're looking for. You know, we're not looking for these type of newer houses. And you can also tell by the geography of it, right? So in this scenario, you have a situation where you see a lot of green, you know, curvy streets. No, that's an inexact term, but when you look at a situation like this, it's all very much grid-based, very much everything tight, close together. And those are really the areas that you're looking for. And so again, it's not we're trying to pick, hey, specifically what are the zip codes. It's more of, hey, what's the range of zip codes that we're going to test, you know, in order to see, hey, what you know, what areas are going to give us the best chance of success. And typically then, according to this here, this is kind of where I would focus on. When you have an area like this where there's so many of them, typically I typically don't go after the first 2 or 3 like these. If you notice here, these are quite high, 200, 190, 150. And then you got these here in the 80% bracket in the 50. So if you really think about it, a lot of these here, the normal here is here, then you really start to spike up here. So if you, what I would do in this area is I would probably maybe curtail the first 2 or 3, focus on this middle one, just simply because I have found it's hit and miss on the zip codes that have a tremendous amount of activity. In this scenario, I know that zip code 33311, and there's a lot of foreclosures, and it's not the best of area. Out of everything here, it's just really not the best of area. So that's why I think you have that many. You have a lot of HUD homes potentially, and so that's the reason why I would probably stay more toward this range here, which is going to give you the sweet spot.